Hey everyone, welcome to the Friday thing.
What up? Have we not officially named this in any?
No, we haven't officially. It's the Friday live stream, right?
Yes,
That's
I suppose
the name.
so.
Yeah.
Call it a thing. That's awesome. Hello.
Jay, you're back. Although you don't look like you're back.
Yeah. You look like
Maybe
something.
maybe he isn't back. I don't know. I'm
I don't know, but I'm mesmerized.
questioning all my memories of the past day.
This is me high on Hawaii.
It's
Is that what it is, Ian?
Yes.
Looks more like the Hypno Toad. kind
I
of
know
thing
the
going on.
Hypno Hawaii. Yes, I am back.
So why don't we have video of you?
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
Stand by. I
Because
just had
some people may think it's a previous recording of Jay. No.
There he is.
Okay.
Right.
Now we have actual evidence.
And what's the noise running along the bottom of your screen?
I didn't do
J is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
that. Oh, I see. It's a screen refresh thing for us, Steve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks just like static to
Looks
me.
refreshing.
Yeah. So
So Jay,
know,
tell us all about Hawaii.
let me adjust my camera here. Everything is out of whack. All right. So let me see. Highlights of Hawaii. I ate a pineapple called a sugarloaf pineapple.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
I'm proud of you.
And it is remarkably superior to any pineapple you've ever had.
Did you bring like 50 home?
No, but you can ship them. You can have them shipped to you,
I'm
but
gonna- I'm
you
gonna
can't
look that
bring
up.
anything agricultural from Hawaii with you.
That's a
You
shame.
can't leave that island with anything.
Oh man.
So the sugarloaf was about 4 times as sweet as a regular pineapple,
Oh, that's so good.
What?
and it has no acid in it whatsoever.
Oh my god, stop. It's like
And the center
Pineapple
core
heaven.
is there is no center core. The whole thing is edible.
come on. It's a
Yeah, it's called a
miracle
sugarloaf.
fruit.
Yeah, so there's some of
It's a
them.
magical pineapple.
Yeah.
So you know, like Eskimos. The top of the pineapple is how you plant a new pineapple tree,
Yeah.
plant, whatever, right? It's not a tree. They don't let you if you buy one, you can't get the tops.
You told
it's
you
bes-
already cut up, so you can't plant it yourself.
Yeah, they don't want you to replant it.
Uh-huh.
So I guess there's some that are even better than the one that I had where you can't get the tops. The ones that we bought, you could get the tops. So I think that they're not like the ultimate breed or variety that we were talking about here.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, and Evan, I know you love pineapple.
Love it.
You know, I would push down a normal pineapple to like a 6, and this was a 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then I had a honey pineapple, which was probably an 8.5. Honey pineapple is just sweeter than a regular pineapple, but everything else is the same. So that was really cool. And then moving on to bananas. So I had an apple banana, a Thai apple banana. I had an ice cream banana, and I had a sweet apple banana, like a candy apple banana. Okay, so here's everything I found out. Like, first of all, I couldn't get Gros Michel bananas. I couldn't find. I read about people growing them. I could not find any farmer that had them. One guy lied to me and said that he had them, and then he sold me a batch, and they weren't Gros Michel bananas. I found out.
How do you know? How did you know?
Because they didn't look like them. Like, you know, when I looked up the pictures of Gros Michels, it didn't look like them. They were too short and too fat. Because the Gros Michels look more like Cavendish. They're not like apple
but they're
bananas.
bigger.
Yeah, they're even bigger. They're like plantain size, kind of. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, I was deceived in Hawaii. I was moderately disappointed.
You were banana jacked.
Yeah. So out of all of the bananas, which one was the best?
Thai apple banana.
It was
I know.
candy.
I know. It was
the candy
fake,
apple.
It was the fake Gros Michel. That was the
No, it
best.
wasn't. That banana was not good, actually. The sweet candy apple one, the candy apple, or the I don't know. I don't remember exactly what they called it, but it was
That's important though.
absolutely delicious. So the apple
Mhm.
banana and the candy apple banana, I think is what it was called, were the two varieties that I
Wow.
like the best. Now, Steve, you told me that the ice cream banana was supposed to be creamy and taste like ice cream, and it was neither creamy nor did it taste like ice
Maybe
cream.
it wasn't ripe for you.
I had a batch of them, and I ate it at all different levels of ripeness.
Every stage.
Yeah. Oh.
So apparently, though, the apple banana is very popular. It's in every store. Everybody's growing it.
Yeah.
It's even sold in Costco.
I
bought
had those when I
actually-
was there last.
Yeah.
They were very good.
Very good.
And
Better
I
than
like
a
the
Cavendish.
size. It's a lot easier to titrate your banana eating. You know,
That's true.
sometimes like a full banana might be a little bit too much, or sometimes I want 1.5 bananas.
Yeah.
But the apple bananas, you can have 1, 2, 3. Like, you know, you could. It's just a better, I think, unit of banana.
So I called Steve with banana updates. I actually called him up because I was too excited. I got very excited because I thought that I was going to get a farmer that had to grow Michelle. God, I mean, what the hell? So, you know, but I did a lot of research while I was there, not like we weren't already banana happy. And we can buy them from a farm in Florida. We're just gonna pay $80 for a
Mhm.
bushel,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot of money. So we could do it, Steve.
I'll
if
go
you
in
really
on
want
that.
We
to.
got to do it, and we will have an eating of the Gros Michels. We'll do it on video. We will record it for posterity. Our initial, it's like those unboxing videos. We'll do an eating a Gros Michel video.
With
get our
live
reaction.
reactions. Yeah.
So I found out in Hawaii, at least, they call the Gros Michel there Bluefields.
Bluefields.
It's a Bluefield banana. And that may have helped because I didn't find that out until 3/4 of the way through. And so maybe some people had Bluefields and didn't ever hear a Gros Michel because it's weird because you say, hey, do you have a Gros Michel banana? And everybody went, what?
What?
Yeah.
But the Gros show.
It's just a weird name. Like it's unfortunate that you grow a Gros Michel banana because they probably thought I was speaking weird, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's GROS, it stands for Big Michael.
Yeah.
Big Michael.
But to the layman, you know, that vernacular is
Michael?
not.
Yeah. That's
What
what it
does
means.
that mean?
Gros Michel, Big Michael. Because they're big, I guess.
Big Michael.
Now, I will remind you that I was on this trip with.
Silly
I
name.
was one of 10 people because it was 2 families that went on the trip, 4 kids.
Mhm.
It was absolute pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
But I did a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, Hawaii is absolutely gorgeous. It is, the second most beautiful place I've ever been to in my life.
Did you know
New
that
Zealand.
Pandemonium was the name of my college band?
Oh my God, it's a terrible, terrible band name.
Thank you. Well, we were a terrible,
Punk
terrible
band.
band, so I guess it fits.
I heard you play the drums. You weren't bad.
No, we were good. We were okay.
It's better than William J. Gotta say.
Bob, nobody asked you anything, okay? And I was in many bands. That was just one of many bands I was
But I'll
in.
never forget. Here's a memory. You had somebody you know draw a band picture as an ad.
I know it's what you're going to
Yes,
say.
you are. And the band name was William, and she drew a picture for some weird reason of just her husband who was in the band, apparently taking off his shirt, and people thought that this was like a stripper, and not a band, but a stripper. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was weird.
That was all for you, Bob.
Thank you, Jay. The artwork was decent, but just kind of confusing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, keep in mind I was like 16 years old.
Yeah,
when
that's
that
like
was
a
going
that's
on.
a what? 35-year-old memory. Holy
3
crap!
lifetimes ago. So I swam with manta rays. You don't touch them. You don't
Superheroes?
interact with them.
Oh.
No, the animal.
yeah.
I swam next to them.
Yeah, above them. Because they swim like about 20 feet below you, and they are quite big. I don't know if you guys knew how big that they get, but they had a 16-footer in that area where we were observing them, which was huge. Think about how big that is. I could keep going. I don't know if anybody else wants to hear about it. I mean,
Nah, we're done.
I don't recommend
Yeah,
that
photos?
I do, of course. I already showed Steve and Bob.
Oh, thanks.
Don't you do not want to go on a 2-week vacation. That's too long.
I
feel
disagree.
completely disconnected from my reality. You know,
It's
I-
harder
I-
to come back,
Yeah, it is.
but I could do
2 weeks
the thing
is
about
great.
the 1 week is hard because you're just getting into it and then you're getting ready to go home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Like 4 days in, and you're like, "Holy crap, we're going in a couple of days." What that?
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not good. And this is from the guy whose last vacations were like 3 days. So it's like,
But that's even better. Like a 3-day, like you know what you're in for. It's quick. You're in and out. It's a long weekend. It's a good recharge. You know what I mean? You know, the 1 week is almost like a tease. Like you're just getting, like 3 days is not long enough to get disconnected from reality. A week, you're just getting to that point when you gotta then reverse it and go home. 2 weeks, at least you can coast for a few days in that zone, in the vacation zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think like 10 to 11 days was where I was feeling really
10
good.
days.
And then it got to the, well, I don't know. For me, what happened is I start to get a little, I don't want to say anxious because that's a more powerful word than what I was feeling. But I get a little tense about all the work that the backlog.
You get a little verklempt.
Yeah, like, I
Whoa.
feel like we have Nexus coming up as an example. I thought about Nexus every day that I was on this vacation, because
Yeah.
it's right there. It's happening in 3 weeks,
It's hard to tune out 100%
yeah,
from your
without a
day
doubt.
to day.
But this is all anecdotal. I think we need some empirical evidence of like the optimal duration of a vacation for maximal psychological benefit, including
willing.
the transition of coming home.
I'm
Right.
willing to volunteer.
Yeah. We'll have to
Yeah, we
we'll
can
have to
do
take
that.
Am I allowed
multiple
out of the
vacations of
dungeon?
different lengths and record our satisfaction before, during, and after.
so many variables to account for.
But we'll control for all those variables. That's why you need
Of
control
course.
groups and need multiple. Take years.
If you could just like reset yourself. Remember that, Steve? What did you read a story or something where
Reset yourself.
where this guy finds that he's in a world that's basically a simulation, but
Yeah.
it was like a real sim. You probably remember better than me. What?
That was a good
what
short. Yeah, it's a short story. The guy like is having a Groundhog Day thing where he wakes up every morning and it's the same day over and over again, but he doesn't remember. He loses his memory too, except one day, or I forget why. He like falls asleep underneath a boat in his basement that he was working on. He just fell. He nodded off.
as
Drunk.
He
the-
wakes up the next
As
day, and
happens.
it's the first time, and who knows how long that he has his memory of the previous day, and realizes that the day is playing itself over and over again. So now that he's on to this fact, he deliberately avoids like going to sleep in his bed, and so he does.
Right.
So he doesn't get hit with the reset. His memory doesn't get wiped for the previous day. So the surprise ending is that the guy is living in like a tabletop miniature model of his town, and he is just a little tiny robot, right, with his memories loaded up into it. His town was apparently destroyed in a gas explosion, and some marketing company came in there and downloaded all of the people's brains into robots, made a fake town, and then used it for marketing research.
It's like a Truman Show almost.
So every day they would just like do different commercials to see how the subjects responded, and they had a perfect control group because they can compare them to themselves. That
What was
it.
this
That
called,
the story.
Steve?
I forget the name of the story.
Oh man,
That was-
I'd like to read that. If anybody
Yeah.
remembers that, let us know. I'd like to read that. That's talk about the perfect marketing research. You could change
Right.
the tiniest little thing and not worry about confounding variables that completely screw it up.
Although the people who were totally blown up, like there was no gray matter left to resurrect, to download into an AI, they were like always just absent from work that day. They were always out sick, or like they were never around.
Ah. I wonder if gravity ever played an effect. Because gravity's not the same,
I
when
know,
you're that
I
big.
know. They wouldn't exactly work, but
What would it be like? How different would it
it'd be
be?
like a bug. You could jump 30 feet and then it'd be okay.
They could probably tweak their strength. I don't know. I'd have to think
Yeah, if
about
they were little android robots, then they could maybe tweak variables to simulate normal
right, but other
size.
forces, like friction and things, that would
Yeah.
be messed up. I think about
Got
that.
you thinking now.
How was the last 2 weeks, guys? I haven't really talked to.
Nothing happened.
only-
The world
We
stood
just put
still for
ourselves
2
on
weeks.
pause, Jay, until you came back.
No news. I mean, it's so weird. We got so used to the news being like a horrific event every day, and now like nothing seems to be happening, which is nice. It's just
Yeah.
it feels a little like, wow, I was away for 2 weeks and like nothing happened. That's weird. I almost wanted to miss something and come home and be like, what? You know?
Yeah, right. What happened?
What happened?
You know, like
What's
Hawaii's still
happening?
part of the world. It's not like you wouldn't have had it if anything
Yeah.
that big happened.
Unless you
I
didn't
know,
have
but
Wi-Fi. Unless you didn't have Wi-Fi out there, which is we hear it's
And-
spotty.
And
It
if
is
you guys,
spotty.
have you guys watched the show Alone?
I know, but
Okay,
not
so it's
aware of
a
it. I know
reality
what it
TV
is.
show where they throw 10 contestants into some kind of remote area, but each by themselves in their own little like 5-mile zone.
In a year.
And it's the last
Heard
man
about it.
standing, right? It's like you got to survive in the wild with limited resources, no supplies. So you could be out there completely by yourself, totally disconnected from the world for months at a time.
Wait, now I'm seeing here a world leader was assassanated. There was
Oh, yeah.
fires and floods. I mean, what the hell, guys? Don't you watch the news?
That's
Didn't you
like
leave-
background
didn't you-
noise now.
Didn't you leave, Jay, did you leave after he was killed?
I don't know.
I don't think
no.
so. It was just recent.
Oh,
The Haitian.
So, yeah, the president
week
of
ago?
Haiti was assassinated.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I read about that, which was literally this morning, was that he was assassinated. None of his security staff got injured or killed, which leads investigators or people who are analyzing the situation to believe that it was an inside job. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. No, there's definitely
Well-
something hinky going on.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
also
walked
yelled
away
out
with.
DEA,
Alright.
I
A
believe.
lot of good suggestions here as to what was going on. There was World
yelled
Cup
DEA?
soccer was going on.
Yeah.
Italy beat Germany.
That's true.
Britain.
Hey, Italy.
Yeah, Italy, right?
Paisan.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the question is
Cuba.
what's
stuff going
above
on
the
in
waterline
Cuba.
for newsworthiness,
South Africa is having real big problems right now.
People are just typing in random stuff now, and I don't understand.
Well, it's not
Death Valley. What happened in Death Valley? Like
Record
the high-
temperatures.
135 or something.
We're having
Oh,
a
really?
heat dome over the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And it's 121 in Canada. 121 Fahrenheit, of course.
Yeah, to all of those people who didn't believe global warming since what, the 80s? We go back. Anybody, I'd say, in the last, how many years would you go back and say, if you didn't believe in global warming as of 10 years ago, you can go screw yourself?
So this is actually a far more complicated question than it may at first seem. Like,
I
what's
didn't
the
have the
relationship
question,
between anthropogenic global warming and this event? Because
Diatribe,
the
not
mantra
question.
is we don't attribute individual events to global warming. It's just that statistically they may be more likely to occur.
But it's hot
Right.
everywhere, Steve. I mean, seriously.
But
like,
except Europe, which is having a cold flash. But this is due to a
explain
heat
that.
dome. This is like a heat dome. It's like there's a high pressure wall holding in the heat there. So, but there's actually a scientific controversy over to what extent this particular event was made more likely by anthropogenic global warming, with a lot of scientists say, yeah, this is 150 times more likely because of the 1.2 degrees C warming
right.
that we've had.
That's the information right there. 150 times more likely.
But
And
that's
what you
not
say.
universally accepted. Then there's other climatologists like not so much.
But that's how you couch the answer, though. You can't say yes, this happened because of
it's probability.
you got to throw out a probability that it's 150 times more likely now as of 2021, or whatever it is, 80%, 80 times more likely, or you give a range. Give 80 to 150 times likely, and that's it. That's the best answer you're going to get, and that's got to be good enough.
Right. But even that, there's some debate about it. But I think
Throw error bars in there, but yeah.
the weight
that's-
of opinion is that this is a once in 500 year weather event.
Jeez.
Yeah, but you could say it used to be a 1 in 500 year weather event.
Yeah.
It's now a 1 in a 40 year weather event.
Yeah,
type of
whatever.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's another way to say the
another
same
way of putting
thing.
it. Someone pointed out that we are continuing to dismantle voting rights in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when was that Supreme Court decision, Jay? Was that before or after you left?
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, they basically said that Arizona's voter suppression laws are just fine. And they gutted
Really?
the Voter Protection Act by saying that essentially like the Section 2 of the Voter Protection Act was that a voting restriction can't be more burdensome on one demographic than another, right? Because then that creates
That
a
sounds
differential.
reasonable.
Okay, perfectly reasonable. But the majority, the conservative majority of the Supreme Court decided that to really significantly raise the bar on proving how onerous it is, to essentially, from a practical point of view, gutting that section of the Voting Rights Act. And they basically created a template for states to pass restricted voter laws without running afoul of the Supreme Court.
Right.
Pretty bad.
Wow.
They left it in the hands of the states, basically.
Well, they did more than that. They not only left it in the hands of the states, they gave them a template for how to do it.
Yeah.
So the only solution at this point would be a new law. We need new legislation, which isn't going to happen until we get rid of or modify the filibuster, which it is very questionable. So,
Oh my God.
it's bad.
Well, hit me with some good news. Tell me something good.
Loki.
I haven't finished it. Please get. I was away. Give me
good.
A couple more days.
The ending was good, and
Just
it ended?
watch
we
it.
could
Jay.
say that they say there's going to be season 2. There will be a season 2.
Good. Well, I'm on episode I'm like halfway through episode 5, so I'm
You
almost
stopped halfway through the episode.
Well, Steve, I've been away. I've been very busy.
I'm not sure how that relates, but all right. Evan, isn't today some kind of anniversary you were telling us about before we
It's
started
actually
recording?
tomorrow. It'll
Tomorrow?
be July 17, 1996. So that's 25 years to the day. The explosion of TWA Flight 800.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's significant for lots of different reasons. I've been reading some articles and things about it because it still is considered by some controversial, that there's still a lot of people who are still convinced that, the official reports are not really what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was, foul play and foul entities at work here.
But let's say it's not really controversial. It's only controversial among conspiracy theorists on the fringe.
Yeah, who, have had a long time now to present whatever evidence they have on their side,
Which is nil.
Right, which
So-
compared to the official story, it doesn't add up to anything.
Bob, Jay, and I, a number of years ago,
No, we didn't.
filmed a pilot for National Geographic on
Yes, we did.
Conspiracy Nation, called Conspiracy Nation. It was all about conspiracy theories. And we, before the pilot, we did what's called a sizzle reel, right? It was 3 minutes, right? 5 minutes. But to make that 5-minute sizzle reel,
You put a ton of effort.
yeah, it took like a whole weekend, right? We
traveled, you-
essentially did an entire investigation of this issue of the Flight 800 thing. We went on site. We took a boat out to where, it landed in the water. We interviewed eyewitnesses. Bob, you went down and you saw the remains of the plane, right? Remember
That was amazing. It was in a warehouse. Imagine a plane in a warehouse that's like a jigsaw puzzle with a lot of pieces missing, but they still put it together. So it was kind of there,
Pictures, you
but
can see pictures. Yeah,
but
it's
kind
amazing.
of not there as well because so many pieces were just never recovered. That was an amazing jigsaw puzzle. Wow.
So the thing is, the investigators were able, from eyewitnesses, even ones that insisted they saw a missile, which they didn't, but to reconstruct the timing of the explosion, right? And the fact is, because the thing is, obviously sound travels at a slower
Mach
speed
1.
than light, right? Yeah, Mach 1, more or less. So they could actually time, they knew how far away it was based upon the delay of different eyewitnesses in different
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah.
So they knew exactly where the plane was when it exploded, right?
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Triangulate. Boom.
right, so
There it is.
there were some of the eyewitnesses who said they saw a missile said they heard and saw the missile at the same time
But you would.
when they couldn't have.
Right.
They
because-
should have heard the explosion of the missile like 90 seconds after they saw it. but so clearly what they were hearing the explosion and then seeing the plane like falling apart 90 seconds later. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So then their mind put those two things together, which is always a very compelling illusion whenever you combine audio and visual and you synchronize audio and visual. You know, like you ever do that trick where you put your finger in your mouth and you crunch on an ice cube and it looks like you're biting your finger? Have you ever done that to somebody?
Yeah.
Like you're
I
secretly hiding an ice cube in your mouth
Never
and you
even
go,
thought of doing it.
crunch. And that is, even if you know what's happening, it's visceral because
Ian, zoom in on me and I'll show you a
have an
technique
ice
to do
cube
that.
there?
No, watch, I'll show you.
oh, you can do
I
the
know
nose
what you're
thing.
gonna do.
Yeah,
What's
so
the
you go
nose
like
thing?
this. And I'm going to crack
Oh.
my nose. Ready?
Oh, wait.
Sickening crunch.
Yeah.
They weren't synchronized, though, Jay. That's funny.
Well, it was for me. Ready? Let's
Yeah.
try it again. All right.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit.
It doesn't work.
That's because light travels faster than sound, Bob.
Yeah, there you go. It's the only answer I could think of.
So anyway, so it was, physics could prove that the eyewitnesses
Physics.
who claimed that they saw a missile had to be wrong.
Wait, we
Yeah.
missed that hand gesture when you said physics. Do it
Yeah,
again.
it's physics. Physics.
Physics.
You know,
That's it.
in space.
physics.
Which is more compelling than just physics. Just regular
Yes.
physics.
No, it's.
I'm talking about physics.
Physics, man.
It, and so anyway, the reconstruction was pretty thorough. The plane exploded, broke into two parts, and the two parts crashed into the Long Island Sound. And there was no missile. There was no second explosion. It was, etc. So anyway, and it was also really, it was such a horrific event. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, Jay, but we interviewed different people. And I remember one of the people that you interviewed was a first responder. And he told this story of, so this is at night, right? As you were saying, Evan. So it's this surreal scene where they had spotlights from the rescue ships and on the water. And the guy said, and there was just luggage everywhere, debris everywhere, bodies everywhere. And at one point, he saw
parts.
floating by, it was like a 10-year-old girl, naked, covered head to toe in glitter for some reason, just in the mix-up of everything. She got completely covered
Debris.
in glitter. And he said it was this completely surreal scene. In a way, it was kind of, beautiful in a bizarre way. Kind of reminded me of something that the Twin Peaks guy would, David Lynch would film or something, there's
Right.
it's totally horrific but also mesmerizing at the same time.
Yeah.
Really, really incredibly sad event. But
And talking to two people who really believe things like this
yeah,
and hearing their stories, regardless of what we statistically know the truth to be, right? We were hearing the evidence, and there's a lot of typical mind tricks being played on that people are playing on themselves. It was emotionally sad.
yeah,
I remember we talked to multiple people and it was intense in their memory and it had an emotional impact on several of the people we talked to. And that's one of the humbling things that we have to try to remember, even in politics, is that there's real people behind a lot of this stuff. It's not just crazy people who have these beliefs.
no, yeah, you're right, Jay. The one thing that also came across was that the event had a powerful impact on the community. It shaped that community. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Sandy Hook shootings in Newtown, like that. There are still signs up in Sandy Hook because Bob lives there. He lives right around the corner from there. And we were just there not too long ago at a restaurant in Sandy Hook, and there's still signs up about, Sandy Hook strong and remember and whatever.
Yeah, never forget
Yeah,
it.
that just has a powerful effect on a community that does not go away for probably generations. And the upshot of it, for those of you who may not remember or may not know or are too young, the investigation discovered that the the plane sat on the tarmac because it was in July. It was very hot,
Oh yeah.
and it was delayed. The takeoff was delayed, and the gas tank was not full because it was not going to be that long a flight, I think. And so essentially, the fumes were allowed to build up in the tank, right? Because it evaporated. The jet fuel evaporated. It filled up with fumes, and then that was just a bomb, waiting to go off. And
Oh my
then
gosh.
and then it happened about whatever minute or 2 minutes after it took off. That just blew up from the fumes from its own gas. And so I don't know if it was starting to be phased in already at that point in time, but based upon that event, they made it mandatory. They changed the rules so that wouldn't happen again, right? So like in terms of like how long a jet could be out on the tarmac, but they also made these collapsible fuel tanks, like you line the tank with plastic that collapses as you drain it, so that there's no air pocket around the fuel.
Is it like
No-
a bladder or a?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
bladder, so there's no place for the fumes to go. Basically, you don't have this open chamber where fumes can build up. So, 25 years, it hasn't happened again. So I guess whatever they're doing is working. But
Well, I did a lot of air travel the past couple of weeks. Every time I get on an airplane, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I still marvel at how successful this technology is. Right? The jet engines are so unbelievably powerful. It's a technological feat. Every time a plane gets off the ground, I'm like, whoa! How?
It's a little tiny miracle every time.
I know, right? It just blows my mind that much thrust can be created, with fuel and like just the physics of a jet engine. Have you ever seen the picture where a jet, they floor the throttle of a jet and it blows trucks off the
yeah,
tarmac?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of thrust. That's an insane amount of thrust coming out of just one of those engines. And why doesn't it rip off the airplane? I know that sounds ridiculous,
the
but
engines.
it's just aluminum. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Because
like
the engineers know what they're doing.
I know, but, I'm
Designed
just
not
saying
to.
though, it
They
is
calculate
incredible.
that sort of thing. They know how
Yeah,
strong
they
the
use a
connectors
slide
need to
rule
be.
for a lot of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to be blown away by technology. It feels
Yeah, no,
good.
it's true.
I like to look around a jet and be like, damn, me and 150 other people are trusting, an incredible amount of historical technology and development and engineering and everything. But still,
Alignment.
we're at 40,000 feet. Like
That reminds me, on one flight,
Don't think about it. much.
sometime, we had a flight attendant who had an excess of personality, and I remember when we landed, it was saying, "Thank you for flying," whatever the company was, "and next time you want to go hurtling through the sky in a metal tube, please fly, whatever." Fly Delta. It was like, yeah, that's what we're doing
I'm glad he
Next
said
time
that
you wanna
at
be a
the
few inches
end
of-
of the trip.
at the end of the flight. Yeah.
So I had something, I don't remember when this was, but for some reason, I always look at pilots and crew, when they're walking through the airport. There's something cool about it. I just like the I was going to say costumes, but they're the outfits.
Uniforms.
Yeah, the uniforms.
Cosplay.
Everything is freaking cosplay. Whenever I see anyone wearing a uniform, to me, it's always like cool. I admire the design, So anyway, so this happened to me. So I remember seeing a pilot and a co-pilot walking together, going through the airport, and they're going to some flight. And I remember looking at those two guys and saying to myself, boy, am I glad that those guys aren't flying my
Oh
airplane.
gosh.
Well, guess
sure
what?
enough.
They were flying your airplane.
They walked right into the jetway to the plane that I was getting on. And it's just because to me, like they looked like they were whacked out, like tired and, like on the nerve, you know what I mean? Holy Christ. I should stop looking at ground crew, don't look at these people walking around anymore. You don't want to come to that realization.
Guys swigging the vodka.
Yeah.
Shit. Stumbling onto the plane.
His friends are
Where's the
helping him on.
cockpit?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's that cockpit?
All right. I'll tell you when I've had enough.
Holy Christ.
So we were talking this week about the Virgin Galactic flight, and one thing we didn't mention, because I wrote about it, and somebody said, "Oh, what about all the carbon footprint, of it?" but
Yeah.
actually, the you know what fuel the Virgin Galactic used?
Kerosene,
Oxygen?
No. Huh?
antimatter,
No, not yet. That's the next model. Be
Yeah. 10, 20
What do
miles
you
down.
use?
hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
That was my
Yeah.
hydrogen. That was my
Hydrogen.
next guess.
And what are the emissions of hydrogen?
When you burn hydrogen with oxygen, you get
Water.
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 Yay!
Yeah.
More
So,
water.
and hydrogen's actually the
It's like
the best. It's the best rocket fuel. Just simple hydrogen. It has the
in
greatest
terms of
specific
chemical energy.
impulse because it's so light, right? So you get the most energy out of it per weight. That's what it's all about.
So what was the limitation of using it in decades ago? And
We use it all the time.
yeah.
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 But it's,
So
you're still
usually
subject to the
I thought
tyranny
we-
of the rocket equation, though.
I thought we
Right.
mix
Yes.
oxygen and hydrogen in modern rocketry, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is,
Yes.
and it's been around for a long time. Hydrogen is still the cutting edge. I mean, the thing is, they're like we use solid rocket boosters.
That helps
They-
them get off the
So,
track.
so there's, not to get into too many details here. We are writing about this in our book, which is why I have it all on the top of my head, and which we're almost done with. By the way, the first draft is almost done. We'll let you know when that happens. But there's thrust and specific impulse, right? Solid rocket boosters don't have the highest specific impulse, but they do produce a lot of thrust, which is why they're good for getting off the ground, like getting out of the Earth's gravity well and into orbit. They're like once you light them, they burn until they're done,
Yeah.
right? You can't like really
you
throttle
can't
them, right?
unlight
You
them.
turn them
yeah.
on and
There's
off.
There's no
They're just-
turning them off.
Steve,
Yeah.
should we throw that factoid out about if the Earth were more massive?
Yeah. So go ahead.
Why would you call it a factoid?
It's not. That's right. It's not a factoid. I still use the old definition of what I thought factoid meant.
A
Right?
factisimal. A factoid.
What did we say that at that time? Factoid isn't what I usually use that word.
Yeah, we
as.
tended to use it as like a little isolated fact, but
Right.
people use it as some people think it implies that it's wrong, and I don't know that that's correct,
All
but
right.
whatever.
Well, one interesting fact was that if the Earth had a similar diameter but was only was it 50% more massive?
If the Earth's surface gravity was 1.5 g,
Oh.
Chemical rockets would not work. We would not be able to use
Yeah.
chemical
Can't.
rockets.
no
that-
chemical rocket would get us into orbit.
That's
Holy
bad.
Christ.
Can you imagine? We would have had to wait until some sort of thermonuclear engine, some fusion engine, some fission engine. We could have shot stuff into space. Just kinetically, just shoot it.
Yeah, like a railgun?
Yeah, but no people are gonna. No human would have left orbit until we had a fission, probably some sort of fission engine, to do it.
Yeah,
so
just 1.5 g
1.5. Yeah.
and no
but-
chemical, and because basically what that means is that you couldn't build a rocket big enough to get into orbit, right?
Right.
It would not be able to hold itself up, just because the physics don't work, because of the rocket equation. The problem with the rocket equation is
It's
exponential.
all about the rocket equation. Yeah.
So, because you have to carry more fuel to carry more fuel to carry more fuel. So
So that
when you-
limits the amount of spacefaring aliens out there. You know what
exactly an alien race, even a technological alien race that evolves on a world with greater than 1.5 g surface gravity, is screwed, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Add that
they-
to your Drake equation.
It's screwed
folks.
for a while, but if it takes another couple of centuries to get a living creature into space, into orbit,
Yeah.
oh well, luckily I'm not in that. We're not in that club, so that's good. Too bad for them. But it's not.
Right.
It's not severely. It's not like they can never do it. It's just a lot harder.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. Right.
Well, I
Um,
missed you guys. I missed talking. I'm really enjoying just chatting with.
You didn't talk while you were there?
I did. But
You meant
science
with
talk,
cool
you know.
people, Steve.
Oh,
Oh,
talking
careful.
with us.
yeah, that too.
Careful.
Okay.
Oh yeah, somebody said
Court.
they'd never seen me with facial hair. Yeah, I haven't shaved in a
facial
while.
hair?
What?
A little
That's
bit.
counting
Hold
as
on, I'm
facial
gotta
hair?
Yeah, probably. And you still haven't.
Hang on.
Yeah. They're getting a much higher res image of Jay than I am, apparently.
Ooh.
Yeah, we are.
Grab a
because
razor,
of the-
Methuselah. What are you doing there?
Our resolution that we see is lesser than what they're seeing. It's not as high resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
I can't even talk. I'm so jet lagged, by the way. Whoa. So I was 6 hours different, and I had a good night's sleep last night. You know, I was really tired because I was on like 2 5-hour flights and I was up for a day. So I slept just like a mammoth last night. And then around 2 o'clock this afternoon, I had that thing happen where you just kind of go. I was just like, what hit me? It was like I could hit a wall. I couldn't move for like an hour. I was like completely zonked. Then I called Ian. I'm like, Ian, we got to talk. We got to get this work done. Talking about, we talked about Nexus. We talked about the 2 game shows. We have 2 game shows at Nexus this year. Should we talk about them a little bit?
We could.
Well, we're doing, we have a game show that we've been working on since last year at Nexus, right? So if you guys saw Nexus last year, we did a game show and it was called
You Can't Be Serious.
You Can't Be Serious.
You Can't Be Serious. And that was the germ of the idea for what we now have, which is called Boomer versus Zoomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game show where 4 generations, have a trivia contest against each other. That's the game show at its core. Then we decided that, so we're going to be running that on Friday night. So that's on August 6th for Nexus. And then on August 7th, we usually do some type of fun event during the middle of the day. And, the executive team that was working on the conference were throwing out all these ideas. What could we do? What would be fun? What would be fun? And then Brian Wecht came up with something that we call Kin Exis, which is siblings who, it's basically what's that game called, Steve?
It's a newlywed game with siblings.
The newlywed game with siblings instead of married people. But it'll be.
How well do you know your siblings?
Yeah, but there's an element there with the siblings that'll be fun because siblings typically have funny relationships or different kind of relationships than just friends do. And we just thought that would be kind of provocative. So we picked, so the best groups of siblings that we could. I'm not going to reveal anything right now. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to that. Apparently we like game shows.
Who doesn't?
Yes. Yeah. Game shows are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they work. They're good.
And so our Boomer versus Zoomer game show, getting back to that though, we are going to run that as a new piece of content that SGU Productions is the producer of. And we are probably going to start that. I mean, Nexus is really going to be the kickoff of version 2 of that show. So that we might run that every week. We don't know.
Ooh.
We're right now just getting into the weeds of it. But yeah, so you'll see it at Nexus if you have purchased your tickets.
Evan, you want to tell us about your puzzle?
Sure.
Right.
So a lot of correct guesses this week. Congratulations, everyone. I'll send a special shout out to Bill Goggin. I saw him first. He was one of the first ones to guess correctly. And Lime from the Discord, our patrons. Lime, thank you. Well done. A lot of correct answers. So, novellas. Novellas 3. Answer my riddle, thee.
So my first sense was that these were airport, the short designations. Yeah, like
yeah, but I don't think.
Guess. Yes.
I don't think it is though because
Initialisms.
there's one missing. Why would there be? This is a group.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 of these. So I know MIA means something.
Uh-huh.
Missing in action.
You can.
I don't know. I don't know if in this context it means that. And then AUG, it reminds me of August, of course.
Yes.
San is San Francisco. I have no idea, Evan.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Right. So, Steve, you're correct. These are airport code designations.
All right.
I got the
I would think if
inspiration.
you plot them out. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
right.
ahead.
So that's the point, is that go in order. So start with AUG. Where is the 3-letter code airport AUG? Augusta, which state?
Yeah,
Georgia?
that's in, here at Augusta.
Not Georgia.
California.
Not California.
Carolina.
No,
Is it
it's,
North Carolina?
No. It's closer to us.
Massachusetts? Where is it? I can't remember. I don't know.
Maine.
Maine.
Really?
Augusta, Maine.
Augusta, Maine.
Yeah.
Capital Maine.
Right.
And I'll get to a little controversy over that.
But
in just a
Miami's
second.
not the capital of Florida.
No, it's not the capital. But MIA is Miami
Okay.
Airport. And then SAN. Where would SAN be?
San Diego, San Francisco.
San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
So
I
if
think
you
San
draw
Francisco
that
is just
mental
far.
map in your mind, where would the 4th one likely be?
Well, what are we making a square?
Seattle?
Seattle,
Washington?
right? Bob, and what's the code for Seattle?
I don't know.
There.
SEA.
SEA.
Yeah.
That is the correct
Easy
answer.
guess.
Very cool.
Seattle was the last city that the SGU flew to together.
Seattle,
Right. As the
Seattle
pandemic
had the
was like,
pandemic.
"Ah."
We were in a city that had the pandemic. That had the virus. Before we knew anything. We didn't. I remember the restaurant we were in. We were all on top of each other, like sweating on each other. Like there was 10. Gary Kazeel was with us. Remember he came to visit us.
Oh, worse than that, we were at the AAAS with thousands of people walking around. Like it was a convention. We were at a convention.
Right. I remember later on they found out that the virus
was there.
in the city in a scary way. As scary as it could be before the pandemic exploded. I mean, it's nothing like now, but it was like there. We could have gotten, we definitely could have gotten it. I forget what the numbers were, but it was scary numbers for that period of time.
Steve,
in
can you catch
hindsight.
me up on the variant? Like I understand that masks are being, the people are
The
being
Loki
asked.
variant?
No, what's up with the latest variant of the virus and what's happening? Are we seeing more numbers of cases now?
Yeah,
because
so the
it's
Delta
stronger?
variant's the one that's taking over now, and it's much more infectious, than the older variants. But it's still mostly covered by the vaccine. The vaccine will keep you from going to the hospital and dying from it. And there's a new variant out, but it's still, in the background.
Is it worse than Delta?
I don't know. I haven't really read that much about it yet. So
Is it the spirit variant? Get it?
it's
Well-
the Lambda, I think.
That was very much a
Lambda's
critical thinking thing you just did, Steve. You admitted that you don't know much about something. That's good.
I do that
A lot
all
of
the
people
time.
don't think that skeptics do that, by the way.
The Lambda variant is now in 29 countries. Started in Peru, I guess. Like, I don't think we know that much about it yet.
How about Epsilon? I actually Googled Epsilon variant and read some scary shit.
I think it's all scary.
But no, like this thing just completely sidesteps the vaccines. I mean, that's like the like worst case, almost worst case scenario. But I think it's premature. I mean, no one.
Yeah. They're calling it a variant of interest.
Ugh.
Well, I hate that because that means it's bad. It's not like it's some lame-o variant. It's got to do something. It's just something novel about
Okay,
it.
so is that like in description to our current vaccinations that we have? Is that why it's of interest?
It's not just vaccinations. It's also just how contagious and deadly it is as
Yeah,
well.
it's all about those two.
And is it on the
things.
uprise? Is it going up or is it just in the background?
All right, so Steve, are cases going up, or have our
They're starting
Infection?
to tick up a little bit.
for
Yeah.
Christ's sake?
It's almost entirely because of people who are not getting vaccinated.
Steve, people keep wanting to know about mixing vaccines.
Yeah, so the answer is it's probably okay. If you took the Moderna first dose to take the Pfizer second for your second dose is probably fine. And there's not a lot of hard data on it, but that's what they're saying. I don't know about the J&J because that's like totally different. I wouldn't go that far afield, but I think you could mix and match Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah. All right, can we do the let's do the quiz. Now,
quiz.
I'll
You
give
have
you
a quiz?
one guess on what the quiz's theme is this week.
Alaska.
Exactly. No, it's I made a quiz on Hawaii.
What?
Hawaii.
Didn't see that coming.
Give me
And I might have to bore you guys with just one family story.
God,
Just
do
one
that
story.
while I set it up.
Please, there's time.
All right, I'll tell while Ian is setting things up and getting people on. So we go on a snorkeling cruise, right? Like a 50-person boat out to a really cool place to go snorkeling. And so I have my daughter is 5.5 years old, and she's adorable. She's in her peak adorable zone right now. She's just ridiculous how cute she is.
That is her superpower.
Yeah, totally. So the the crew of this boat was so awesome, and they were really fun. I remember I was talking to the captain of the boat, and he was one of those people. Evan, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
He said 8 years ago, I'm sitting there, and I just said, screw it, and I quit my job and I moved to Hawaii. Like he did it. He actually said, I'm not doing corporate America anymore. I'm not doing this crap anymore. And apparently he had enough money to buy this boat. So he bought the boat. It's a big boat, it has 50 people on it and, 2 decks. And I thought that was really interesting because like some people actually make that decision and they do it, that's a big deal. You sell everything that you own and just move to an island, that's crazy.
Chasing the dream.
So anyway, so we're on the boat and the crew starts to get to know my daughter because she's like asking them questions and being her adorable self. So on the way back, so we drive out about an hour, we go snorkeling for about an hour and a half, then we have like an hour drive back on the, on the boat. And my wife goes, come to the back of the boat right now. And I go to the back of the boat and she directs me up where the captain's chair is, where the steering wheel is. And my daughter is driving the boat by herself. The captain was like, she was driving the boat. Like, this is 5-year-old.
The wheels, she had the handles.
So I was like,
Whatever.
oh my God, I can't believe it. So she had charmed the crew so much that the captain gave her the headset because he has like a headset to talk to everyone. He was constantly like telling people about like things that were driving past and lava tubes this and, everything. It was really cool. So he gives her the headset and tells her to say goodbye to everyone. Now she's like a cruise director telling everyone, aloha, thank you for coming on the snorkeling trip with us.
Julie McCoy.
Come again, like doing that whole bit. It was so freaking cute. I mean, that feeling you get inside of you, like, that was so freaking cute, man. Oh my God. So that's my family trip.
Oh, if I was a passenger and I heard that, my face would light up.
All right. Sorry about the boring family talk, but let's do the quiz.
So I sent the link for us in the chat, Jay.
I
So
received it.
get that. Everybody else, please go to darkenergy.games.
Do it.
Everybody else.
Sign up. And if you can make an account, that would be helpful. I think we could track all of your data and wins. Yep. Okay, we have a request, Bob, from a Mr. Dr. Brian Wecht. For you specifically.
There's a Dr. Brian Wecht. Don't we know a Dr. Brian Wecht?
Yes, we do know Dr. Ninja Brian Wecht.
Ooh.
And he wants to talk to Bob?
No, he had a request. I don't know if you heard that when we were talking to him earlier, but he had a request for Bob to pronounce the word for the subatomic particle.
Muon.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go. What about the subatomic particle that starts with a B?
Boson?
Boson?
Baryon.
Bob. Are you Bob?
Oh.
Go ahead, Bob.
Boson, baryon.
Yeah, no. Okay, say the B word again.
Boson.
Okay. That
Boson?
sounds right to me. No, it is. Yeah, he was saying you said muon before.
That's right. Like
and
a cow.
boson or like it's with a strong S or a Z. And here's
Boson.
one more for Bob. The International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. How do you pronounce that? The
International.
Is
4-letter.
that Eider?
It's actually pronounced eater.
Either.
No, good to know. Thank you for
Eater.
that one.
Yeah, that's just what Dr. Ninja Brian Wecht.
That's easy to remember now because it has the word eat in it.
Eater, huh?
Yes.
Itter or eater?
It's eater, apparently. He said,
Eater.
Yeah, like EATER.
And
don't-
apparently
and-
they're ditching the acronym and it's just eater. Like the
What?
Latin word
Oh,
eater,
yeah.
which I forget what it means.
Oh, Latin word, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, and Richard Weissman reminds us all that it is a WAV file. by the
Not a
way.
wave
That's
file.
wrong.
Not a WAV file.
No.
It's a WAV.
I do not accept that.
I know, wave file.
He was wrong.
Either one,
But-
who cares?
I don't
Jake?
care. It was Richard Wiseman, and it was
They
hilarious.
didn't
It's
invent
hilarious.
music in over there.
As long as you say GIF, I don't care.
GIF.
Well, I was on Facebook today. I can't. Was it Rachel? Dr. Rachie said that they don't call movers in Australia.
They call them movers.
No, they call them. What do they? Does anybody know what they call a mover in Australia? I can't remember what she said. It was a very weird way to.
Oh,
A lollydickle?
Let's see if anyone in the chat knows. I'm sure if Richard is listening, he'd know. Anyway, it was a very weird way, and like then she was making fun. Removalist. There it is. Thank you, Matthew.
Removalist. I like that.
Removalist.
I
Yes.
like that.
That's weird.
But they are not just removing things. They
That's
are.
a good band name.
They're
Moving.
moving. They are
They're
moving from
removalists.
point A to point B.
Removalist. That
A
reminds me
removal-
of that show, The Detectorists. You guys ever see that?
Yes.
It was a good show. It's a detectorist is somebody who uses a metal detector. They are not a metal detector. Their instrument is a metal detector.
Yeah.
They are detectorists.
All right, that makes sense.
Yes.
But
They
a
have to
removalist,
follow the prime detective.
the term removalist does not factor in the fact that they are removing and then replacing,
Maybe.
or whatever.
no,
they're
Jay, that's the
moving.
replacerists.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
a different
but-
team.
Okay, I
It's
don't
not
know.
the
It's
same people. Put backerists.
this is one of the rare times that I can make fun of. Like Americans usually have weird ways of saying things, but that's removalist is no good. Doesn't work. Okay, let's move on to the quiz.
Let's synchronize.
I like
Here we
it.
go. I'm going to count down, say click, and we're all going to click that
Can't wait.
synchronize button.
Someone said a metal
Metal detector wielder.
metal detector wielder. I love that. Thank you, Ian.
That's
I'm
probably
still-
what it is in German.
called a
What's
dowser.
the German word for that? Because aren't they
Oh,
very
gosh.
literal with their
Yeah, whatever that word is, it's
Wording.
58 characters long, probably.
last flula? Okay, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click. Defenestrator.
Yes.
Okay.
He's fenestrator. Who's getting thrown out of a window?
Here come the numbers.
Count the numbers. Okay.
Oh, yes.
8, 10.
Everybody, tell me your number.
Your
Numerology.
number, sir.
Numerology, run amok. This means something.
So I think the
Yeah,
average,
yeah.
Ian, is about 8 seconds. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, some of them are way out, so that probably skews it a
Way
little
out.
bit, but taking the outliers away and the ones that get too long, whoever can't play.
I'm going to give you guys the link to the sugar loaf. Here it is.
Please.
You go skiing?
Ian, let's get one. Evan, sorry. Holy Christ. I get mad at
I know
myself
what you
when I
mean.
do that.
That's fine.
Evan, let's get one,
Please.
and we'll share it.
Or we can get two and have one each.
That-
Either way
that's
is
fine.
good with me. Must
Oh, here's a
have.
pink
I'll take
pineapple. That's interesting.
I would take... You
Oh,
got
isn't that a
you have me
new
with
one?
pineapple. It could be
Isn't that a
any variant.
Pink glow pineapple. We can order those here. $49. $49 for one
So
pineapple.
good.
Yeah.
$49.
Shipping is nuts,
It's
man.
worth it. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, it means it is.
Yeah.
Zoom.
I love that thing so much.
All right. Let's go ahead and start the game.
There
Oh,
we
yeah.
go.
Okay. Which U.S. president was born in Hawaii? George W. Bush, Richard Nixon, Joe Biden, Barack Obama.
Oh, I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go.
Should I say it? Not
Wait,
the
Gotta
answer.
wait.
Wait
Gotta wait
till
for
it's-
its time to run out.
Evan,
Should I say the funny comment?
Yes, that. but
According to who?
After.
yeah.
That is it.
Evan,
Yes.
do you actually eat pineapple on pizza?
Yes, we talked about that in your absence last week.
Yeah, I saw a post on Facebook.
Oh yes, it
Well, that's-
got people talking.
That's
It
weird.
always does.
Okay.
If you
Uh,
believe
If
that.
you believe,
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I said depending on who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
if you're.
Hawaii, Kenya, whatever. One of those two.
So
'Cause-
George W. Bush was born in Connecticut, Nixon, California, Biden in Pennsylvania.
Scranton.
I would have
Scranton.
Paper.
Scranton.
How many zones of the Köppen climate classification system, think biomes, do the Hawaiian Islands have?
There's a total of 14 on the planet. I take it.
Oh yeah, there's a total of 14 on the.
Well,
Well,
It's less than 14.
and more than two.
Or equal
yeah,
to.
the Köppen climate classification system
Coppin.
Coppin.
Coppin. It's an advanced version of like the old school biomes. I guess it's like the latest and greatest system.
Jay, I knew this because when I was in Hawaii decades ago, I distinctly remember the guy saying this.
So what is it, Jay?
It's 10. So there's 14 of classification 2, right? Because there's 5 in classification 1, and it has sub-classifications. But I think typically people refer to it as there's 14 different.
And the Big Island has 10, apparently.
Yeah, 10 of
Then
the
how
14.
come Minecraft only has like what 4 or 5 biomes? What's
Yeah,
going
they're
on?
not even legit. Like some of them
Oh,
are not
really?
even-
Okay, what is
Yeah.
Hawaii's most active volcano? Excuse the pronunciations, but Moana Loa, Kilauea, I think maybe, Hualalai.
Sorry about that. I should have given you the pronunciation. Yeah.
That's fine. I usually look it up. I forgot to.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So
Was that Kilauea?
Yes, it is. That's how that's pronounced.
Yeah, I was like, wait a
Kilauea?
minute. Looking at it, I was like, that looks.
that was the one
Of course
that
probably-
erupted in 2018.
That was intense, man. They were getting walloped.
And
You remember
yeah,
that?
it dumped like billions of yards of material.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. Moana Loa. I guess Moana Space Loa is the largest in the world. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I think that's what you wrote. Okay, what does the Hawaiian word aloha mean? Hello/goodbye. Hello. Safe travels or good fortune.
Oh crap.
Tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky.
A little tricky if you don't exactly know. You think you know, but do you know?
I know, right, Ev?
Yes.
There you go.
And so somebody said it doesn't mean any of these things. Kevin Nagel, you're going to have to prove that to me because I talked to Hawaiians who told me this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I know, or I think I know, it means, well, we often call the shirts Hawaiian shirts, but they're called aloha shirts,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Read my notes, Ian.
Oh, it also means love and affection, and literally meaning of aloha is presence of breath. Okay, what is illegal in Hawaii? Gaudy Hawaiian shirts, hitchhiking, surfing after sunset,
Interesting.
or gambling. Don't take that chuckle to mean it's wrong. The first one.
Bum, 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 bum.
Do I switch my answer in the last second?
What? Ah.
What, were you perfect up till then, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What'd you guys put?
I guess surfing after sunset.
I guessed hitchhiking.
That just made so much sense. And gambling. I can't imagine why they would do that. Hey, cat.
Hello,
Probably because gambling, like, completely robs people of money, and it's a net negative effect on humanity. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
Device.
figured it's actually refreshing that the bottom line is not as important
It's considered a vice.
for them as it is for everywhere else.
So how'd you guys do?
Good. Got that last one
4
wrong.
out of 5.
People are
God damn it.
asking, is hitchhiking legal now, or is it just not?
I searched it. I could not find anything that said it was illegal.
It's illegal.
Game?
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, great. Then I got
Hitchhiking?
100%.
My
In
bad.
Maui, Hawaii, or all of the Hawaiian Islands is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because I found
That's
like a website that's all about hitchhiking in Hawaii and how to do it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to Hawaii.
All right, my bad on anybody that got screwed on that
So I
last
really
one.
got 80%.
So all the 60s probably are 80s. But this is we got good distribution on this
It
one.
was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Thank you for putting that together, Jay.
Do you guys hear
My-
the
my
thunder in
pleasure.
my background?
Is
No.
that what I'm hearing? I'm hearing. It sounds like movers or removists.
Removalists.
Removalists. Removalists. Almost sounds like a political.
You hear that?
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
big
heard
one.
that.
Wow.
Is that
Yeah.
happening outside my house too?
Sure it's not a bulldozer?
Quite sure.
It's scheduled.
Sure, it's not
this time.
fireworks. Some people go firework happy in July.
It's the
So-
Removalist. Yep.
Steve, somebody wrote in that there is 67 overworld biomes in Minecraft.
Oh.
67.
So it's superior to reality.
Yeah, that's from a listener named Joshua Pastor. I don't know.
Biomes.
Yeah, so Bob, like in Minecraft, like a biome would be the desert, a pine forest, the plains. You know what I mean? Like it's a different like natural, setting.
Right.
There's caves, there's underwater.
All right, so it's not
Back in the cave.
really analogous to climate, but I gotcha.
Back at the cave. Remember that?
So we can take some
Jedi
questions.
Yeah. Along the lines of vaccine, any comments about the Pfizer 6-month booster recommendation?
Yeah, we talk about it on the show tomorrow.
So
That's my
listen,
comment.
Go ahead and subscribe.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Download. Tell your
So
friends.
listen to the
They
show
wanna know as
tomorrow.
well.
We'll talk all about it.
Here's one actually from last week. But what is your most beloved worthless object?
I couldn't hear you because it was thundering
All right,
in the background.
Because
He said,
Thor.
what
was
is your most
raging.
beloved worthless object? So when you say worthless, we're
Yeah,
talking about
what's worthless?
what? Give me a dollar amount, like below what dollars?
I would say just
I would just say
$1 or
minimal,
less.
minimal actual
Yeah.
value. Like you couldn't
Like a
sell
month-
it.
Nothing you
No
could sell
value.
to
You
someone
couldn't
else for
resell.
significant value.
Yeah,
but
or you couldn't resell. Yeah.
worthless.
I mean, I have something that has a lot of agency in my life, and that is an Ankh that I bought in the early
yeah.
90s. I've had it for almost my entire adult life. I love it. I used to wear it every day. I still wear it. It's just an object that I own that I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a good question.
I have to think about it. Probably something of my dad. My dad used to be a beat writer for the St. Louis Cardinals way back in the day, and he had a press pass that he eventually at some point gave to me, and I kept it from way back when. I still have it, so that means it's a lot of sentimental value. It has no practical value.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit outdated, but it's I think I would be upset if I lost it.
It's a newspaper?
It's a press pass. It was his
Okay.
press pass for covering the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team back
All right,
in
so
the 60s.
I got one.
Go ahead, Bob.
I was in the middle of talking.
Middle,
No,
you
no,
just
I had-
started. You just started.
Yeah, I started. Therefore, by definition, you were interrupting me.
Yes,
Um,
you didn't say interrupting. You said in the middle.
I could tell you the oldest personal item that I own, which is Jay and Bob will remember this. It was a huge glass, and
Yes.
that we won at the
New Fairfield Firemen's Carnival.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I probably won that when I was 10 years old. I actually had a bunch of them, but I had a sole survivor. I had one.
You still have it?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, you have the pieces of it.
A few weeks ago, one of my daughters broke it.
What was
Why, but
she
why would you
doing
have it in
touching
Steve, you had that glass in Gen Pop?
Yeah,
Jen Pop.
That's one of the dumbest things I've heard this
but
week.
it was in the it wasn't in it was only pseudo in Gen Pop. It was in a shelf that nobody had any business going on. It wasn't like with the rest of the glasses that we use. And
Did
they
you
all
glue it back
knew that it was
together?
like nothing to be touched. That it was like 50 years old. Don't touch it. But they did.
Wow. Blew it. All right, Steve's done. All right, so I got these. Let's see if you guys.
I know.
That's a pirate coin from Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So this is-
Pirates of
this
the
is-
Caribbean.
This is Disneyland from Disneyland in California. I've only been there a couple
hang on.
times. Got this like in the 70s. This was near the Pirates of the Caribbean. It was a machine, and you could put your name, you could stamp your name on it. And this one says Bob Novella and Kathy Wood, which was some girl I was
Oh my God, I remember
smitten
that.
with in the
Kathy Wood.
70s. And I've got some other ones that are blanks, which of course are, good too. But I love these mothers, and there's no way I would part with them.
Bob, $75 on eBay.
Oh boy! All right, I can get rid of this one, and I can get rid of this one, and this one. All right. No, I've actually looked them up, but they're like I think they're pretty cheap. Were you serious, Jay?
I'm seeing $75, $50, $50.
Wow.
Yeah,
I got a
Original.
bunch of them. Maybe I'll sell one or two of them.
Nah, it's not worth it.
But I would never get rid of all of them.
All right, I have something from Disney World too, Bob, which is I think the oldest thing that I own. I just can't put my fingers on it right now, but this is probably the second oldest thing that I own.
Oh my
Yes.
God! Yes.
Yes. And
Darth Vader's TIE Fighter?
Darth
to
Vader's TIE
scale?
Fighter. This is I built this myself. Again, this is probably
1/25th
uh,
scale.
42 years old or something, 43 years old.
and that's all Steve's going to say about that. Steve's
That's
not
it.
going to mention the critical information that I
There's no
saved
other
that.
part of this item's provenance.
I
that you need to
saved
know.
that
You rescued it, Bob.
single-handedly.
You rescued
I had it for some reason. I had it for years, like in my house or something. And I'm like, holy crap! Steve did this. There's no way he's gonna want me to get rid of this. So I kept it for years, and then finally, the stars aligned, and I had it. And where Steve was, I'm like, Steve, look, I saved this for you for literally 2 decades.
Thank you.
But if
Bob.
that's not part of Steve's story, the guy who rescued that thing for him.
Bob, you
But
are
whatever.
you are known in many circles as the guy who rescued that thing for Steve.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I had that potato chip that was shaped like
Jesus.
Abraham Lincoln, but I ate it.
I was waiting. Is Steve going to mention that I saved it and held on to it for years? Nah, he's not.
I
gonna
was
say that,
getting
is
there,
he?
and then you had to jump in.
Okay. I heard a period. I heard a solid
I
period.
was putting it down. All right, go ahead.
Evan, you got anything that you can show us?
Within reach, yeah. I took a quick look. I don't have the that press pass right here. What do I have that's old? I have.
A pledge pin on your uniform.
While Evan's looking for that, the oldest thing I have, Bob, is a tiki head glass jar from the Polynesian. village.
Polynesian.
Yeah,
Ooh, I want to see that.
it's
Send
in
me a
here
picture of that.
somewhere. Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
I have a mini that Perry painted.
Oh, cool. I have a
Oh,
bunch of
cool.
minis that Perry painted.
Here's this.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I have a bunch of
Excellent.
Perry's
Cross giant.
figures.
Oh yeah, that's right. He left a lot of stuff at your house when
Yeah.
we were last tabletopping
Yeah.
16, 17 years ago.
All right, what else you got, Ian?
Yeah, let's do one more because I got to go to Bob's for dinner.
Yeah.
A couple people in chat were asking if you guys still wear masks in buildings or what the general recommendation.
Everywhere I go,
Yeah,
every
I
single
do.
I don't go out without a mask.
Especially now with the Delta variant, I think if I want to be in a big crowd, I wear a mask. I mean, I still have to wear a mask at work because it's it's healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have one, so it's no big deal to pop one on if I'm going into a store or something.
If it's I'm kind of in transition. I think if it's like if I go to the doctor for sure. If there's any store that says wear your mask, I wear it. But there are some stores I will go to that I don't wear a mask, and especially they're like low density. People aren't really close at all. But I think I'm transitioning to full time, and but because of this Delta variant. I don't think it's. I mean, the CDC is not really. They're not recommending it for people that are vaccinated. Like
Not if you're vaccinated.
not
Yeah.
if you're vaccinated. So I'm not quite there yet, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Subject
the
to
pandemic is
updates.
far from over. Wear the freaking mask. You know what I mean? Like we have to be the people that still wear it. I don't like going into the supermarket feeling like I'm the odd guy out because there was like one other person today. I had to go to the supermarket because I threw away all the milk and eggs and everything I had in my refrigerator before vacation. I go in there. I'm like, me and one other guy had a mask on, and I'm like, hello, what's going on? Just let's keep doing it until this thing ends.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, you know where you don't have to wear a mask?
In my house.
No, Nexus 2021.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Nexus
yep.
2021. Yeah, guys, if you haven't gone to the website or registered or, just take a look, see who we have as speakers to see if you're enticed. I'm telling you that this year is going to be very, very good. We have a lot of really good speakers this year. The theme for this year is the future has landed.
Oh,
Yes. Whoa, Evan. Yeah. So the idea is that we are appreciating the science and technology that exists today. Like, how much do you really know about the mRNA platform? Would you like to learn the real details about it from a scientist who really knows what they're talking about? Would you
Yes,
like to hear
please.
about what NASA really has planned over the next 5 years?
Absolutely.
We have 2 people from NASA speaking at the conference
That's
this
awesome.
year.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great year. Go to necss.org. You could also see a new promo video that I put up on Facebook. Go to the Skeptics Guide Facebook page. It's a pretty fun thing we put together. I hope you enjoy it. And please
And
do
we should mention the triumphant return of the extravaganza on September 5th in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to be there for any reason, there
That's
might
right.
be
It is not convention
maybe Dragon
specific.
Con.
there might be a Dragon Con going on at the same time by coincidence. Go to the events page at the SGU and you can read all about it.
Yeah, plus we have other events. We have 2 other private shows, or 3 other private shows that you can see. So we have 4 events on our events page. If you are in the United States and would like to see the SGU, start looking there, because we're going to be 2022 tour for the extravaganza is coming out soon as well. So very excited.
So now we
can't
have
wait.
3 fruit-based emojis that are SGU related: the banana,
That's
the
right.
pineapple, and the watermelon.
I
You know
love
what would
it.
be a fun event, Steve?
What?
I'd eat
An
all of it.
SG, not that the whole event would revolve around this, but in one of the events that we do that people can go to in person,
A fruit off?
we buy a bunch of Gros Michel bananas and expensive pineapple, and we let everybody
Maybe we'll
sample.
do
we
it at
party.
the Atlanta private show or something.
Oh, please. Oh, my gosh. That'd be so
You know, if we can get that's not that far away from Kevin Folta.
It's closer than we are.
It's much closer. It's
lot
1 state away. So maybe
Come
we
on,
can get
Kevin.
Kevin to come up. Let me call Kevin and see if he'll.
right, get him on the blower right now.
Yeah.
On the blower.
We're on speed dial.
Do people still call it the blower?
I do.
The horn?
Not
The
since
horn is
Archie
more
Bunker
common.
used to call
Get him on the horn.
Yeah.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Yes. Bensonhurst 75214.
That's right, Dave.
Klondike 5. All right.
All right, guys, have a great week. I'll see you guys this week. I'll see Bob tonight. I'll see Steve probably over the weekend.
Weekend.
Jay, I'll send you random
Bye,
texts
everybody.
like I did last week.
Do it.
This is
Vote for-
physics, by the way. Physics. Physics.
Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.